welcome back to my channel, Vegan-Nette Life. I'm just gonna go ahead and film video. I needed to cook up some greens, some different greens that I have that I will also be adding to some bowls later in the week. I already roasted some vegetables for that bowl. As I said, I'll probably do quinoa more than likely for those, but I'm going to go ahead and now go ahead and get started with prepping for my greens. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up one onion, if I can get it cut. This is my last white onion. So my white onion has been used up. Again, I'm being mindful of everything that I have in my fridge to go ahead and get it prepped and prepared so that it does not go bad, but then also making sure I'm keeping those items moving that are just, left in its raw stage until you need to use it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do this whole onion. I love onion. I put it in most everything that is savory. But yeah, I love onions. Usually the purple onion or the red onion, I like that more so on my avocado toast, or if I'm eating something raw like a salad. I like the purple onion for that. I cook more with the white onions, but I don't tend to eat those raw as much. But I will, but I usually just try to keep on hand the red onions. So I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna just go ahead and prep all of my greens and put them over here in this bowl that I just had for the roasted vegetables that I did. I don't mind about, a little bit of the seasoning being up there. These ones that I'm cutting off now are from my golden beets. I'm gonna cut up those leaves off the stem, and those are gonna saute in with, I've got some collards, I've got some dandelion greens, some purple kale that I'm gonna add to this. And I think the lettuces that I had in the containers, I think I'm just gonna blend those with each other when I'm making my salads instead of keeping out any of the greens. 'Cause I had a salad earlier for my dinner, and I added some dandelion greens to it. So I try to repurpose as much as I can where I can. And I also added some of the red kale that they call it. I call it more purple sometimes because it has that purple undertone and not an actual red color like the onions does. So I'm just, some of these pieces that are very wilted or don't look appetizing, those I'm cutting off. I don't want that in my dish, so to speak. Like these, they're very wilted. I guess it shouldn't matter because it's all going to cook down anyway, but just don't look good to me, so I'm not using those. So these are the beet leaves or tops or greens from those. So those are going to go in. I'm not going to break those up anymore. I also have a bundle of rainbow chard. All of these are organic. And as you can see, it's called rainbow because of the stalks primarily, as well as the leaves are different colors. So this is rainbow chard. So I'm not gonna put that thick stem in it. Just like my collards, I don't like stems in my greens. I just don't. I like to have mainly just that leaf. So I'm cutting the stalk out. Now, a way that you could repurpose the stalks is just to make you a veggie broth. Or you could also save them to juice. But I'm not saving anything tonight. Just not, well, this evening. It's not dark yet. Not saving any of this evening. But you could definitely just put it like in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer. When you get enough of your different veggie scraps, then you can just boil it and make you a veggie broth. Okay, so I just cut across the chart that I had, so that's kind of a closer view. That's gonna go in the bowl there. And now I'm just kind of cutting through off the stalk my dandelion greens, and they look like this. So I will also eat these mixed in my salad with the regular lettuce and stuff. And so I'm just picking through these. Some of these have gotten really wilted since I bought them. Again, that's another option. You could just choose to make. So once I get finished, I'm gonna just rinse all of these greens off because they have been washed already, but I like to still rinse again myself, even though they were bought already pre-washed supposedly. But it's just me. I like to kind of go back through that and do another rinse off to make sure. So I'm not going to get a lot out of these. I just want to make sure that I'm using up all of that produce I bought 2 weeks ago by now, 2 weekends ago, when I went to Sprouts, Aldi, Wegmans. I want to make sure I use that up. So I'm just going through right now, cutting off as much of the leaf around the stalk as I can. So I don't like stalks in my greens. If they're in there, they have to be, I guess, extremely tender, but I don't, but most of the time I usually cut the majority of it out. And as I said, I'm not getting a lot of actually leaf from here. Dandelion greens you can eat in a salad. You can also add them to a smoothie. Of course, you can always juice them as well, but it's a very thin green, so I'm sure it doesn't take long for those to cook at all. And I had just got one little bundle of these, so it wasn't a lot of them, but it was just a matter of cutting the leaf part off on that. Let's see if I might can get through this better, kind of pulling it like I do my collards. Just cutting it out soon like it's taking a while. So yeah, it seems to go better if you kind of tear on them and pull them like you do collards. It goes a little bit quicker. And I'm just putting everything like these stalks and stuff over here in my little quote-unquote trash bowl. And I had some leaves that just didn't look good at all, so those just went right on in there. And almost finished getting there. Let's see. Some These are very wilted. Okay. Alright, that can go in that bowl. Okay, I think I'm through with everything I can get off of that. Okay, now I've got the purple kale or red kale, as it's called. You see the purple stem, and it's kind of blended in the color of the leaf. Again, I'm taking the kale off the stem as well. Let me put these greens in there, the dandelion greens. Again, I just fold the leaves together and I just pull away from the stalk. But those go pretty quick. Of course, you can eat the kale raw in a salad, which I do a lot of times. You can juice as well your kale. Or you can just saute it, you know, with some other greens. If you just want a cooked green type concoction from that. And this is the last one. And I'm just going to kind of cut over this kale a little bit. Just a little bit. Trying to have everything about the same size. So that goes in my bowl. And I love greens, so this is going to be really good. And the last that I got is some organic collards. As I said, everything that I'm cooking with the vegetables are all organic. And collards, I just fold the leaves together and pull away from the stalk. And that goes pretty quick. And then I'm going to wash these greens off and saute those down into my cast iron two-handle pan, frying pan. And I'm going to let them steam a little bit. I'm going to make a quick little broth with the better than bouillon, vegetable, and roasted garlic. I'm going to use both of those. I think that will add some good flavor. And then I always add in liquid smoke. And that gives it the substitute where traditionally I would have been, if I was eating meat, it would have been a piece of smoked ham hock in there or some type of smoked meat to season it. So if you think about it, what you're looking to get from the greens is a smoky taste. So the liquid smoke provides that naturally. And that particular one is a hickory smoke. So it gives it the taste as if it cooked in meat from the smoke perspective, so to speak. Because as I always say, meat has no taste itself. It's the seasonings that you put on the meat that you're actually tasting. So that is why you're able to substitute different things that don't have a specific taste, but kind of like a neutral taste. And you're able to mimic the taste of meats that you may have eaten if you're vegan now when you were not vegan. So that's why we call different things chicken or steak or whatever, because that's the flavor and the taste that we are mirroring. And these collards, just cutting those down. And so everything is about the same size. So I don't have quite a full bowl, but as y'all know, when you're cooking greens or something like that, they always shrink down. So this probably would be basically just a handful of greens by the time it's finished. But I think we've ended up, with 4 different greens in here. So we've got dandelion, chard, collards, and the beet greens from the tops. And next I just need to dice up my onion. Let me wipe off my cutting board here. Get rid of these little green particles. And I'm just going to dice this white onion. I normally would have also added in probably like a red bell pepper or yellow or all 3. I like to get the rainbow peppers. I don't buy the green bell pepper that much just because I do like the colors of the rainbow peppers or multicolored peppers. But I'm going to saute these onions down first, and then I will add the greens and the broccoli that kind of just simmer together until they're finished. Ooh, I got jumping onions over here. But let them just cook together until they're somewhat tender. And then again, that will be added into the bowls that I have either this week or next week, because this may just go in the fridge. I want to use up a lot of my salads, different salad produce that I bought on yesterday. I want to make sure I get that used up. So this week might be salads, all lunch, dinner, whatever. I ate a big salad for, I guess it was dinner by the time I ate it. So that'll probably be the majority of what I have until that's gone. If I happen to finish it up before the end of the week, then I'll pull out, a bowl or something. But that's what we're gonna do with that. So I will pause you right now till we head over to the stove. Okay, we're now back over to the stove. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got about 1 cup of water. I'm going to add my Better Than Bouillon vegetable, seasoned vegetable base is that one, and then roasted garlic. Let me cut the light on. I think you need some more light over here. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, let me show you guys this again. This is the Better Than Bouillon seasoned vegetable base. And then the Better Than Bouillon roasted garlic. So I'm going to kind of season the water with those and let the greens cook in that. So no specific amount. I guess maybe about a half a teaspoon of each to that 1 cup of water. So the steam is coming up on my stove from the roasted vegetables just in the oven. That will be a separate video from this one. And I'm just going through. Let me get my little mini whisk so I can kind of break this up a little bit. And I'm just going to let the onions and the greens just kind of cook down in this. And I might add a little bit of olive oil today for some reason. Avocado oil to it when it gets finished. I usually like to kind of just saute my greens a little bit. Okay. So So this is just going to go ahead and go in the pan here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. I brought over on the cutting board. And I'm just going to let this just cook down. That's what's going to happen with this. I like my greens very tender far as it being cooked greens. I don't like any crunch or chew or anything on that. I want my greens tender. So they will cook as long as it takes for them to attain that tenderness that I like. So I'm just going to put these in here. They're going to be piled up. But, as you know, once they start cooking, all of that is going to shrink. So I should have a nice, at least full pan of greens. And once these shrink down some, then I'll go in and kind of stir them to kind of mix them up. So I can make sure everything is kind of getting into that seasoned broth that we're cooking them in. All right, so that's that. I'm not going to add any more water than that because it's also water just on the greens itself. So I want to kind of let that kind of cook out until when they get to the end, the liquid has been pretty much absorbed. And then, like I say, I'll usually add a little bit of avocado oil to it to just kind of saute it out. Trying to get the top out here for you so hopefully not making too much noise. But anyway, I'm going to put the lid down on this and let those cook. And as they shrink, then I'll be able to, the lid will fit a little bit more tight. It's a little bit up right now, but that's fine. So I've got this on number 4, which is kind of like a medium setting. So I'm just going to let that cook. It may take about 30 to 45 minutes. We'll see, but I'll let you know once those are finished, and we'll pick back up without filming for you to see that. Okay, so we're back. Just wanted to start filming again just to kind of pick up to show you how this is starting to reduce down a little bit from where it was. And then also, now that it's gotten down some, that pretty much everything is in the pan and not hanging out of the pan. And you can see the different colors. I'm going to go in and add some seasoning on this as well, in addition to the broth. Now, I'm not going to add a lot of salt because the Better Than Bouillon does have plenty of salt, and it's concentrated in that base. So I'm not going to do a lot of salt on that. I am going to do a little bit of my Tabitha Brown Sunshine Seasoning blend. Of course, garlic powder, onion powder goes in everything. And black pepper. Also add some crushed red pepper in there once I start to saute it. I'm adding a little bit of liquid smoke, as I said, to give it that smoky flavor in my greens, because we're not using meat, of course. So I'm just going to mix this up. The onions are on the bottom and adding flavor from that as well. And I'm just going to I think I'm going to turn this down a little bit more on the lower temperature. It's on medium. But I think I'm going to put it on low. Just let it do its thing for however long it takes until, as I said, my greens are nice and tender. I will cook my greens for a while. I don't want these to be, per se, kind of half cooked or crunchy as I would if maybe I was doing a stir fry. Sometimes I can do kale or something on a little crunchy side, but I don't like collards that are not fully cooked and tender. So I had to change my lid as well. I'm just going to let that cook for a while, and then when I'm at the point that I'm ready to actually let it saute, I will come back on with you guys. Okay, so we're back. The greens are basically to the tenderness that I would want them. So I took the top off. There they go, a little bit closer view. That's just basically the onions and the greens. Of course, they're seasoned. I did do a sample taste of those, and everything is seasoned perfectly. So, yeah, those are really good. So, I'm just letting the last little bit of liquid from the broth cook out. It's almost finished. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil, not much at all. But definitely at this point, you could definitely just let it be the way it is. And as I said, I will be letting this be added to my bowls. So it'll probably be quinoa as the base, the roasted vegetables, and greens. So that's what those bowls are going to look like. But just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. And I thank you for taking time to watch my videos with me and watching my recipes here. Get this up here. Okay. And get my going through my recipes on that. But just wanted to show you some of those things to let you know it doesn't take a lot of time to cook. If you can get a one night and do 2 or 3 things that carry you through the week, that's where you're saving time, also saving money, because you're using those things, are being intentional with what's in your fridge. So as I said, I thank you for taking time out to join me in this video over here at Vegan-Nette Life. Remember to focus on your journey, not your destination, and I will see you next time. Bye.